What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is Mike, the automotive junkie, and I am out here today at John Kennedy Ford because today is a very, very exciting day. I am actually finally taking delivery of my 2024 Ecoboost Mustang, iconic silver with the racing stripes. I can't wait to show this car to you. This is so exciting. I've been waiting for this car to come in. It's probably been about 6-7 months since I ordered it, and it's finally here. And I am trading in the blue Civic, and I am picking up the Mustang today. Let's go take a look at it. So here she is, guys, the 2024 Ecoboost Mustang. This is done in the iconic silver with this actually unique and different racing stripe that they did this year, since this is the new model. It's actually pretty unique. It's a dark matte black racing stripe, but what they did was they put this kind of cool red inlay in there, so almost like a red pinstripe that goes across the top, and then when you come around the back, it actually squares off in the back, and you'll see that right here, right before you get to the body color spoiler that's on here, which is very nice as well. And you can see how it just kind of wraps around there, so it gives a really, really nice, unique look to the car. Very custom looking, really nice. Plus it gives you that red accent color, which is awesome because now I could use some red on the interior. I actually programmed already my color lights on the inside, so all my ambient lighting is red, and I just love the way this thing looks. It's really, really sharp. Of course, we do also have the remote start and the auto rev, which I'm going to show you in just a minute. All right, so like I said, this does have remote start. I got the remote here. I put a nice little cover on my remote, and if I hit that and hit that twice, you will hear it start up. And now this has the stock sport active exhaust, and I really am glad that I decided to go with the active exhaust from the factory, because I think that they really did a good job, especially for the 4-cylinder EcoBoost. It's pretty impressive how good this car actually sounds. So if you just give it a minute, once it kind of gets to a point where it's just got a nice little hum to it, which is almost now, I'll be able to do the remote rev, which is really cool. So basically all you do is hit start, stop, and it'll rev once. Hit it again, and it'll do it 3 times. And there you go, automatic rev right there on the 2024 Ecoboost Mustang. What's really cool is this exhaust also has multiple modes, 4 modes basically. So it has a quiet mode, which is nice, and you could actually program the timing for that. So like anytime, if I start the car between say 12 midnight to 7 a.m., it'll automatically start in quiet mode, just this way I don't wake up all my neighbors. And then it also has a normal mode, which is what I believe is on right now, is a normal mode, which still sounds pretty good for what it is. You can kind of hear it revving just at idle. It's got a pretty throaty sound, especially for a 4-cylinder. This is very impressive. Then it's got a sport mode, and then it also has track mode. So once you're in track mode, basically the little thing that's inside, the flap that's in there, opens up and gives you basically a full open exhaust, and it just sounds absolutely fantastic. And eventually, once I put a little more miles on this car and it's a little more broken in, I'll give you a full video on the exhaust sounds at different intervals, so this way you can hear exactly what it sounds like, because I'm really excited to show you that too. I actually really like the wheels on here. I was a little surprised on the original render that I had. These wheels were a little more of like a gunmetal gray, but I actually like this kind of two-tone black and kind of chrome look. The alloys, they look really nice on there. Nice big brakes on there. This thing, the stopping power is fantastic. And of course, you know, the new Mustang's got a lot of little Easter eggs on it. So for one, you got a little Mustang here right on the windshield. You have little Mustangs right in here. I don't know if you could see them that well in this camera because it's kind of reflecting, but you can see there's Mustangs there. Of course, it's got all the generations in the back, which is actually a really cool feature. So if you look closely here, and again, I don't know how well this is going to show up in the camera, but there's first generation, second generation, the Fox bodies, the new Edge, early 2000s, the previous generation S650, and now, I mean the 550, and now the S650, the newest version right here. Again, guys, this just looks fantastic. Love this in iconic silver. Really enjoying this car. And we haven't even gotten to the interior yet, because the interior is all new as well, and that is one of the things that I absolutely loved about this car. Of course, I have the premium interior, so I've got the heated and cooled leather seats, which are fantastic. It's got the two big screens, but all kind of combined together to make it look like one giant screen. It's just got so many features inside. It's fantastic, and we'll go through some of those features in just a moment. Okay, now we are inside the Ecoboost Mustang. We got the flat bottom steering wheel, really nice. We have all of the controls for audio, as well as the controls for the modes. So driving modes can go here. You also have a bunch of modes down here, auto start stop. You can actually set that on here, which is nice. Depending on your presets and defaults, you can make sure that that's always turned off, which is great. The My Mustang button, so that's this little pony right here. That pony basically takes you into your settings for your Mustang, where you can change your ambient color, you can change all kinds of options. Obviously next to that, traction control, emergency lights, and then that little star, I'll show you that in a minute too. You can favorite certain things. So similar to the auto start stop, you could set that there to turn it off and on. There's an auto hold. There's also exhaust mode. So like if I hit that right now, it'll automatically take the exhaust to sport exhaust. So I have that programmed to go right in there. And then of course you got max defrost. You do have a real volume button with a real dial to it, which is very nice. Start stop right here in kind of like a dark red. This is really nice material, all really nice material. This is the 10-speed automatic in here. It just looks fantastic. They did a really nice job here. I've got the home link up here, which I still got to program my garage door to. We got a nice little sunglasses holder up here, which is great. Some map lights. It's just really nice. Here I also have the driver assisted pieces here where you can set the seat memory. You can also, very similar to a lot of high-end luxury cars, it will remember your profile based off of what remote is being used. So I did get 2 remotes, the keys fobs for this. So right now it's set for this key fob as my profile. So as soon as I approach the car, if the seat is adjusted, it'll go back into the first position, which is my position, and it'll be all set just for me to get into the car. I do have the wireless charging down here, which is really nice. It has wireless CarPlay, Android Auto, all of that. So I use the CarPlay, of course. So let me start it up so you can kind of hear what happens when it does that and see the screens. Let me turn that down. So since the car was already running, it didn't do the standard startup. But normally, if the car's not running and you do the standard startup, it actually goes into the little thump thump thump. It's got like this like heartbeat kind of sound. It's really cool. And maybe I'll try to get a clip of that once I actually turn it off and start it again. But you can see right now, this is basically the standard setup for the gauges that are here. They actually look really good. As far as like sun glare goes, like you could see my hand there waving. You can see a little bit of glare, but it's really not that bad when you're sitting here and sitting up and you're kind of looking down above it. It really does not look bad at all. So you don't get too much glare on there, which is very nice. And the dials look great. All the gauges look great. The center console looks awesome. Of course, I've got my iPhone set up in here, so it's already programmed for my CarPlay, which is great. Heated and cooled seats, which are very nice. You can just click that button and then put on cooled seats. And you got 3 levels of cold, 3 levels of hot, and you can adjust those there. Temperature, you could adjust all kinds of temperatures here. We're going to turn that down because that's actually blowing pretty hard on there, so you could turn that down. You could change the colors on here. Like I said, there's so many different features. If you haven't watched any of the other videos out on the Mustang, it's amazing. All the different settings that you could do. You can change so many different options within the car. You can change basically, you know, the different color that you see on here. You can change the quiet start. That was what I was saying before, quiet start. That's where you could program the exhaust to be quiet in the morning, which is really cool. So there's a lot of different things you can do in here. You can even change. So if I hit the My Mustang, which takes you into My Mustang, you get a little icon here. Here you can change the exhaust. So right now that's the quiet exhaust, normal exhaust, sport, and track. So you can adjust those modes right there. Like I said, I have this program. As soon as I hit that, it goes right to the sport mode, which is pretty cool. Track apps you have in here, auxiliary gauges. If you want to see how many G's you're pulling, you can do that through here. Custom mode. So custom mode allows you to change the tightness of the steering. There's a comfort, normal, and sport for steering adjustment. Also what the exhaust is doing, as well as the way it handles the gearing. So obviously the different modes that you can put it in. So you can customize all that right through here, which is actually really cool. The My Color, again, you can change this. I have it all set to red because I like the red gauges and the red interior, which looks really cool. But you can adjust all these colors to be different, and then it'll start to adjust. So like if I go to green and move those to green, you'll see these gauges now went to green. So you can really customize your car however you want it. So I'm going to actually go back to the red. You'll see these will go back to red as soon as I start moving those sliders down, which is really, really cool. So that again is in the My Mustang setup. And then you can also change the cluster. So the cluster themes, they got these really different cluster themes. So you got your normal, which is what it's currently at, sport, which kind of gives you almost, if you remember my BMW X3, very similar gauges with kind of these like wings that kind of go up and down for your RPM and your miles per hour. So it's actually kind of cool. Track mode obviously gives you that gigantic RPM gauge so that you can really see, you know, what number you're at, which is pretty amazing as you hit the gas. There is a calm screen. Calm screen just gives you a smaller kind of, you know, makes it a little more quiet here, very subdued. Obviously I don't like that very much. And then you also have the very cool Fox body, of course, the Fox body gauges, which kind of give you this old analog looking gauge. Very cool. They light up green at night, just like the old Fox bodies. So you do have that as well, which is really cool. I'm actually a huge fan of the sport. I kind of like just keeping it in that gauge. I'm kind of used to that gauge from the BMWs. They kind of have that look, so I'm just going to leave that there. Over here on the steering wheel, again, this is where you can change your modes as well. So if I change the mode, obviously we're in normal now. I can go to sport, I can go to track, and then I can also go to drag strip. So if you're really doing you know, drag racing, you can go into this mode and it'll give you some different information, like your different pressures, all kinds of stuff in the center that you can change as well. There's also a slippery mode for bad weather, and then your custom mode. So custom mode, like I said, you could set multiple custom. Obviously, there you go. I put it in custom 1, and custom 1 deactivates auto start stop. It also puts, you'll see this little icon down here. So that is basically the exhaust, and that it's in My Mustang #1. So that's the mode that it's in right now, which gives me sport steering. This is the steering. So like I could hit this and change the steering. It says sport steering. So right now my mode custom 1 has sport steering, sport exhaust. Everything's tuned basically in the sports mode, which is just awesome. It's kind of the way I enjoy driving the car. Feels great, sounds great. And yeah, I'm so excited about it. Can't get enough of it. Really been enjoying getting this car and kind of learning all of the different options that are here. There's so many different ways to customize this interior and set up what you want on here. It handles great. It's just been so much fun. I'm loving this car. It's just so happy to have this. So let me see if I can get a couple other clips for you, and then we'll wrap up this video and go from there. Taking a look at the back end, dual exhaust, very nice. It's like the quad, so you get the dual on each side. Looks really good. It's got nice big backup light on the back underneath. The brake light up across the top looks great. And then for the trunk, so there's actually a little button right here, right above your license plate, where you can hit if you don't use the key fob. And there's the trunk space. This does have the B&O sound system, so it does have the subwoofer back here. Obviously I have all of my stuff in here, so you can see it does go back, and it's actually a pretty good size. The seats do fold down, 50-50 split rear, so they just split right down in half, which is pretty good. Gives you plenty of room. Even with this in here and all that pushed back, you can still see how much room I have there. I could fit a ton of stuff back here. So this is, I mean, surprisingly, for a sports car that happens to be a 4-seater, it's got a lot of practicality as far as size and you know, cargo space goes. I'm very impressed with that. Little Easter egg right here too. It's got a little S650 gen right there on there, which is pretty cool. And I'm telling you, this thing is just super impressive. Super happy with it. So right there, guys, let me close this and I'll spin the camera around just so I can say that I am thrilled to have the Mustang here officially. I'll be taking it on Sunday to car show out in Malvern at lot 6, and very excited to start bringing it around to some of the car show scene. Obviously the season's starting to wind down because it's getting cold, as you could tell by my sweatshirt I'm wearing today, but we still have a couple cool events coming up, and the Mustang will definitely be there with me. So if you see me and you see the Mustang, say hi, come take a look at it. I'd be glad to show you all the different features that it has. And guys, I will catch you in the next video. Thanks a lot.